Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Did you ever notice that as women, whenever we are trying to get across the border or at the border, we are either being subjected to harassment, intimidation, abuse, probably when we are traveling alone as women. I'm talking to the single women here, or treated differently. This could either be because of our religion or nationality, probably because of the way we dress or maybe our looks. Who can relate with me? Okay, that's why I'm here. I'm here to inform us that all hope is not lost. We actually have rights as women when we are at cross border. So this brings me to the conversation for today. When a woman is crossing the border, she does not necessarily lose her rights simply because she's at the border or because she's traveling. No, she doesn't. Instead, she has some rights. And of course, we know that the immigration officers also have rights, but these rights are not unlimited. This brings me to the conversation for today, which is cross-border rights every woman should know before traveling. And I'll be sharing with us 8 rights we can use to protect ourselves whenever we are at the border. The first one I'll be sharing with us is right to dignity. You, as a woman, have the right to dignity. You cannot be harassed, intimidated, scolded, abused, or sexually intimidated simply because of your religion, your tribe, your color, simply because of the way you dress, or probably when you're traveling alone. You cannot be intimidated or you cannot be harassed. They are in violation of the international human rights standard. You have the right to ask why you are being stopped or held. Let's assume a person is being stopped or held at the borders or immigration office. You have the right to ask questions. Now, the questions you could possibly ask is, why am I being held? Why is my passport being seized or held? What is my offense? Under what law am I being questioned? These questions would help you to arrive at the reason you are there. The immigration officers may try to be silent because they probably will not want to expose or give you all information, but you should know you have the right to demand the reason for your being held or your passport being held. The third one I'll be discussing with us is you have the right to a female officer. Now, in the event where a search is required or a body search, you have the right to demand or request for a female officer to carry out this search on you. You have to state it clearly and request that a female officer carries out the search on you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the male officer carrying out the search on you. There is no rule anywhere that says a male officer must carry out a search on a female traveler. So you can demand for a female officer to search you. And this culture or this tradition is recognized in many countries, even internationally. So you have to make use of this right. The fourth one I'll be telling you today is that you have the right to privacy during search. Yes, didn't I just speak about it? No, it's something different. Now, in an event where there's going to be an invasive search, meaning sometimes they may just decide to carry out a strip search on everybody, probably strip them of their dresses, probably they're searching everywhere. You have the right to request privacy. No one should tell you that because everyone is doing it here, you should do it here. You have a right to request privacy when the search is going to be invasive or it's a strip search. Now, this invasive search is not automatic. There has to be legal justification before they can carry this out. Now you can ask them these questions. Why is this search necessary? Or is this search necessary? Another question you can ask them is, can it be done privately? Another one you can ask them is, can the supervisor be present? Can I request for a supervisor to be present while this search is going on? You can ask these questions. Now, if you are not also comfortable with the supervisor or alone with the supervisor, comfortable with the supervisor alone, you can always request for another person to be present, either a neutral person or maybe a relative or a friend, to be present in that room during the search. They may have limited number of persons that can be in that room, that can be in that space during the search, but you are entitled to a particular amount of persons, I think probably 1 or 2, to be in that room during the strip search. So when this search becomes degrading, I want us to note this. When the search has become degrading, probably they are going in a different way you don't understand, or they are saying some things, you are hearing some comments or something. I want you to note something. Mentally note the names of these officers, note their badge numbers, note the location, the office where this thing happened, and note the time it happened. Mentally note the names, the location, the numbers, the badge numbers, if there is any, on the uniforms of these officers. Know the time and probably the reason for it. It's a mental note. I need you to mentally note it because you may be needing it. Now, the fifth one I'll be sharing with us is something very simple, but we always do the opposite. You have the right to remain silent beyond basic identification. What do I mean by basic identification? Beyond the general questions they'll ask you. For example, they ask you, what's your name? What state are you coming from? Or what country are you traveling to? Some basic identification or questions. Are you traveling with your family? Are you traveling alone? Basic identification questions. You have the right to answer them. But now, where that right stops is oversharing. You have the right to remain silent beyond these basic identifications. All these basic things they need to put your documents intact. You can answer. But when it crosses that part, you have the right to remain silent, and I choose not to speak about it. I have the right to remain silent. No one has to force you to answer what is necessary and nothing more. This is another one, another powerful right that we don't always use. You have the right to contact your embassy where necessary. So in an event where you are being detained or held, you can say, I choose or I wish to contact my embassy. The seventh one is that you have the right to medical care and medication. Now, if you're unwell, if you're pregnant or you're suffering from any illness, you have the right to medical care and you have the right to go with your medications. But you must state it clearly and on time so you don't get harassed. You must state it clearly that I am on medication. You should also try as much as possible to support it with medical reports or any medical documents because they would want to do their search and carry out their search. So you should state it clearly. You have a right to medical care and medication. The borders will take care of it. They have that responsibility of attending to such problems or such conditions. They don't overlook it. They will not also tell you not to go with your drugs. But my advice to you is that you come with your medical report and you say it early and on time. The eighth but not the least is never sign what you don't understand. I will say it again. Never sign what you don't understand. What do I mean? I know some of us will be wondering, am I going to sign any documents? Imagine you're traveling to another country and you do not know that country's language, like French, Spanish, or any other country, and you're told to sign a document. Never sign what you don't understand. You are entitled to an interpreter. Yes, you are entitled to an interpreter. Demand an interpreter to interpret what is on the document. Don't sign anything before you sign away your rights. Always demand that you should see an interpreter, or an interpreter should read it for you, even if it's English language. Maybe some of us that understand English language, and maybe there are some things that are a bit confusing or contradicting, or it's a bit shady, you don't understand it. You don't have to sign it, even if it's in English language. Once you don't understand it, you have the right to an interpreter. Don't sign what you don't understand. I'll leave you with one word. Being at the border does not mean being powerless. Preparation is key. Always know your rights wherever you travel to, or before you travel. Thank you. Bye.